You're listening to episode 40 of the Business and Beyond podcast on Next Gen Media. I'm Ashton.
And I'm Tony.
And I'm Anthony.
Anthony, how's it going?
I mean, I guess I'm still here, so we all blessed, right? To be able to sit at this table again.
I've been promising people for 10 episodes that you're going to join us.
Yeah.
It's taken 10 episodes to finally be able to get you here, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, man. Like I said, I just like seeing y'all because, to be around people that, have the same mindset as you, it's good, man, because you can't talk about, this type of stuff with everybody, man.
Not with everyone. That's something we talk about a lot on the show is surround yourself with people that are like-minded or people that you want to be like. There's a lot of sayings that go around of, if you are who you hang around.
If you hang out with 5 millionaires, you'll be the sixth one. If you hang out with 5 idiots, you're going to be the sixth one.
There's a guy I see a lot of times, he'll say, show me your friends, I'll show you your future kind of thing. You can predict who you hang around with, who you conversate with. That's what you're going to be like. And we feel the same way. I mean, we follow you just like you follow us.
Oh, yeah, I know.
We're all, and anyone that doesn't know, they see some of our conversations on social media between us, our businesses. Oh, yeah. But it's even deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. And, I feel like we're all picking each other up along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Since, I don't know what episode it was, we had you on first 10. It had to have been within the first
old
10 or
studio.
3 or 4.
It could have been.
It wasn't old very studio, many. No YouTube.
Yeah.
It was.
I think y'all did the YouTube thing. That was the first time y'all.
We recorded it. I don't know if we got it on YouTube. Or not. We do have some video
Parada
clips
on a couple episodes, and we still weren't on YouTube then.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah.
Because we talked with him.
Yeah, we weren't able to get it dialed in.
Oh yeah.
Not that we have it dialed in now.
Oh yeah,
it's good enough.
It's a lot better, y'all. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Everything's gotten better. So,
it has, man. That's what you were commenting when you came in, man. The studio,
Yeah.
And anyone that can't,
I ain't gonna lie,
the
man.
video,
y'all,
the video just doesn't do it justice.
It's beautiful in here, man.
The video doesn't do it justice, man. So anyone that wants to see it in person, get with us. So you can sit right here in this hot seat.
Yeah, right here.
And no pressure, but Anthony brought gifts too, so. It's not required, but
maybe.
I think y'all should. These guys, I'm happy. I'm really happy for y'all, man. Like that, It's been over a year now.
It has been over a year, yeah.
So I mean, that's a big accomplishment because most people, they probably would have, gave up by
40
now.
episodes. What was the stat we said last year? It was like 6 episodes.
Over 90% of podcasts don't make it past episode number 6. Which is weird to think, because you're on all these and you see all these successful podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
They're popular. They, AT&T are their sponsors.
Oh yeah.
But you don't know how many get started, and they'll do 1 or 2 episodes, and they're just done.
They're done.
Yeah.
And part of that is probably they judge themselves too much on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I have one.
If we would have judged ourselves on our first few episodes,
and we're gonna
quit a long time ago.
And we're gonna start promoting another podcast here pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
He's already posted a couple episodes, but he's pretty critical of himself. And, he's a friend that I have in Toastmasters.
Oh, okay.
It's I always butcher the name of the show. It's Discovering Black Cinema.
Oh yeah,
is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
And he talks about black directors and actors and things like that. And it's actually pretty good. And he just does it from his laptop, no mic or anything.
Oh,
You wouldn't be able to tell it. I've heard way worse quality podcasts.
Yeah.
And he's done a couple and posted them. But I told him we weren't going to promote it, and I said the name of it. But I told him, I said, dude, you sound great.
Oh yeah.
I said, you're going to be the most critical of yourself. And you're going to go watch this episode, look it on YouTube, and you're like, man, I keep fidgeting with my face or doing something, and no one's going to notice, but you're going to be critical of yourself. But yeah, that's what I told him, and hopefully if he can make it past that 6th one.
Well, talking about critical. Good and bad. You've mentioned to me several times, in person, and text, and Facebook, like everywhere. Episode 30 changed a lot for you.
Yeah, that's my favorite episode.
I listened back to episode 30 because everyone keeps telling me. We even had a comment last week. Someone mentioned
somebody in my full-time job who I work with, and I mentioned we had because I just started this job a few months ago, and our onboarding, which we talk about in another episode too, it's kind of orientation, lasted a few weeks. It's like tell everybody something about yourself that they'd be surprised about. and I mentioned I had a podcast. I didn't give any detail on it. I'm not friends with this guy on Facebook or anything, but he's the other day he said, "Man, I listened to your podcast."
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think, did I give you a link to my podcast? Like, how did you even find it?
Yeah.
And he's telling me, I'm listening to the most recent episode, but man, I've seen people commenting somewhere. I heard y'all talking about episode 30. Man, I just need to listen. That's my next one to listen to.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
so I listened to episode 30 today because I knew we were going to talk about it. We were coming on, and that was big. And I listened back to it, and that was one of the early episodes in this studio. We were still figuring out our system, and that was god awful audio quality.
yeah.
Talking about like judging
audio
yourself,
quality
man.
might have been off, but
it wasn't there.
The content was.
But you're right, man. I listened to it, and when we do the show and we're just talking, we spit things out there, and it doesn't like click. And maybe we need to go back and listen to more of our shows. We kind of early on made a thing of the first few episodes. We would go back and listen to them before we would even post them, and we would try to edit them and make everything perfect. And we finally got to a thing is, we're not going to listen to it. We're gonna put the info out there. It's going, and we're moving on. We're not going to judge ourselves on it. Well, I went back and listened to that one, and after I got over oh my god, the quality, the echoes, we had to fix that. The content really is there, man.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even realize how powerful the things we were saying were.
Yeah.
But maybe even more so because we talked to you about it too. But like, what was of that episode? What was the most impactful thing? Like, what were you like? This is it. This is the stuff. Like, I'm changing.
Man, the most impactful thing was because I know that you went through the same thing with your business that you're currently running now. Of jumping out there head first, and that touched me, man, because I literally like cried when I jumped out there with the detailing business, and I moved kind of like fast, and went out on my own. Didn't have a plan really. Nobody never taught me anything like that, so I like just went head first, and that was a mistake that I made because I didn't plan it out well. So I was like, man, I got out there, tried to run my business full time, and on episode 30, I like what you said about maybe how about you like gradually work your way into making your your side hustle your full time operation, and maybe taking on like a part-time operation, so it's kind of like weaning you off the corporate scale, and then you can focus more on your business. And man, I never looked at it like that because I've always thought it that you start something and you just say, oh, I'm gonna quit my job, and then you go out there. And I think a lot of people make that mistake, man. I think if you went about it the way that you explained it, about, hey man, maybe I should just scale back from this job that I'm working at 65 hours a week, and maybe go back, down to a job that's 40 hours, or maybe just go to a Amazon delivery service, or, UPS, morning job where they work like 5 hours, and, and do that, or Uber or something, to supplement your income.
That might not work for you because you work weekends. Is a big deal. Uber, that's when you, Uber may not be good for you.
Yeah. I thought about that because my wife had did it when she had lost her job before. She did was it DoorDash, I think, and she went out a couple of times. She was like, no, I just don't think you should do it. She would spend about 4 or 5 hours out. You make like $70, but 20 in fuel and whatever else you gotta buy, maybe lunch or something. So she was like, nah, maybe you should think about a part-time job. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Man, it hit me hard, man, because it made me go back to where I still remember when I like completely gave up because I got too complacent, and I was training. That was my first year, doing the CDL thing, and I still remember kind of like crying to myself, riding with this person, because I'm like, man, like I just literally like after 5 years, just like I guess I felt like I failed, but I didn't, because I didn't lose anything financially, but I lost something that I put like time and years and there's so much into it, you know what I mean? And then when you said that, I was like, man, that's what I'm gonna do next time. I'm definitely gonna do that, you know what I mean? And I literally, a lot of people probably gonna listen to this, but I literally walked out of my job. It's been 10 days ago. I literally just woke up, man. I said, I'm done. Like they were calling. I mean, it was kind of messed up the way I did it, but and then I was like, you know what? They was like, yeah, are you coming today? We got your load on the yard. I was like, man, they can get an outside carrier to take that load. So I was like, I'm just going to gather everything up. And I walked in, with everything, and told them the situation, and it was like, well, I mean, they wish me luck or whatever, and I just told them, it's hard to walk away from guaranteed, man, like that. But I was like, I got the plan of, I can either pay my bills for a while and go full time, or do something part time, man. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm looking for something, maybe 8 hours a day, 6 hours a day, and we'll see how that works out. I mean, like the times I was going to be there, right?
When you told me that, I guess a couple weeks ago, whenever you decided that was it, I have to be honest with you, man. I got a little worried because it scared me that, and we talked about this a little bit, that I would put information out there, that we would say this, because even in episode 30, it was a surprise to him what I was going to say. He had no idea that I had been thinking about these things. And when you told me that, I was a little bit worried. I was like, man, if he goes out and this all goes to shit, what does it make me look like? Does it make my
We're
plan?
just going to not talk about Anthony anymore on the show. We're just going to go away.
No, but I like it. It really did. It scared me at first, and then it hit me of like the things that we say and that we do are so impactful. And I know for you, things that you say, you've got a huge following. You have for a lot of years on social media. You have a lot of people from your community that follow everything you say, and they trust you and they believe in what you have going. I mean, you even brought some of them to us that have been part of, advertising and other things. Like, when you're impactful like that, it's really scary when you give people
you're right.
information, and you're like, man, I hope they use this in the right way. And it doesn't come back and look like, well, you told me to go do this. You told me to quit my job. Like, no, that wasn't it. Like, it was, let's rethink this thing. Like, instead of always going on the side and letting the man control you, hey, let's control them. Let's tell them when we're going to come to work. Let's get a job like that,
Yeah, we try not to alienate everybody. We like to make episodes that are kind of one size fits all. We cover every situation, not just working for yourself, but having part-time deals or full-time with side gigs. But you mentioned that nobody was there to teach you all that stuff. So you probably learn more from
trial
from
and
that,
tribulation,
from that
the
mistake is what you called it, than you did from anybody. But it seems like an unfortunate thing at first, but I didn't know you back then, so I'm guessing your detailing business wasn't what your business is now. Not even close. So maybe it's good you went through that and failed rather than trying this and not knowing what you're doing and then failing at that, which would have turned out to be a really great business. So you learned all that stuff before, and you can ask any successful person. Elon Musk just comes to mind because I hear him on Instagram all the time. Like, I'll probably fail. I'm just going to do it. It may not work. Who cares?
Y'all shared a meme. That's another thing. The meme y'all shared. What if you
turn your 10-year plan
that's pretty much what because we were gonna. That's what the inspiration for episode 30 was. But we're like, well, let's not be as exaggerated as 10 years to 6 months. We'll just call it how to speed up your goals.
To know when to jump out there.
And a lot of times, like, of course, we didn't know it was going to be anything special, that episode when we did it. All we could think about was how bad it sounded. I'm like, should we just delete that episode and
Could you imagine if we had deleted that episode?
That's like I said, it's the quality of the content was,
and that's why
everything.
We say, man, we will continue to preach this. Is not to judge what you're doing, not to judge anything.
You don't know what people are going to take.
What you say, what you do, the product you put out, the way you run your business. Don't judge, because you don't know who's watching.
You're right about that.
You don't know who's gonna grab onto what you're gonna say, even if you think it's inconsequential. I mean, I remember watching an interview, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they're talking about Terminator. And he was talking about the line, "I'll be back." Like, it wasn't written in the script like this is going to be an iconic thing. It's like that's just what people latched onto, and 20 years later, people are getting autographs and filming me and say it, you know, and you don't know what people are going to hook on to when we're doing this. Yeah, we don't know who's listening to this right now who may get inspired by something you say. A phrase, no pressure, but you could say something that, like, man, that really sticks with me. You never know.
Don't listen to everything I say. I'm not an expert. I'm just I'm experimenting.
That's a good disclaimer.
That's even more important to follow people that aren't always the experts, right? Self-proclaimed experts. It's the ones that have been through the trials, the tribulations, that have failed that you want to follow. I mean, that's one of the guys you mentioned, Elon Musk. He's a guy of the more famous entrepreneurs. I do follow him a lot because he's failed a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even Tesla failed in the early stages. So he's failed a lot. You can learn from people that have failed a lot and not to give up. It'd be easy for him to just throw his hands up and be like, yeah, I tried it. I'll just go get a job. I'll go get a programming job.
The Lamborghini, the guy that created Lamborghini was born on the same day as me, and I kind of like try to follow people born in my zodiac, sign thing or whatever. And a lot of people don't know that he was fired by Ferrari. The guy, like, get out of here. He was the design guy, so he could have just stopped right there, and he was like, okay, cool. And then he branched off and
I don't remember
failed a couple times and did that.
If we talked about it on the show.
No, one episode we talked about it was whatever the guy's name is. I don't know. He didn't stick with me his full name, but his last name was Macy, and he started Macy's.
Oh, yeah.
And he started Macy's department store was his 8th time trying. The previous 7 were department stores. So it's not like he failed and then went start another. He started the same business. He'd learned.
Okay.
How many times do you think you would start a department store and fail before you stop making department
we realized, hey, I don't know how to run a department store.
But no, he did. And then his 8th try, Macy's worked out.
Oh, yeah.
And then, man, I'm going to screw it up. We talked about it too. Hershey's.
Oh, yeah.
Like, his family stopped talking to him when he decided to start Hershey's because he had made different business ventures and failed. And they said, you know what, don't even ask us for money, don't talk to us or anything like that. And they basically disowned him.
The guy that I got the game truck trailer from, he has an episode, he has a YouTube channel. And that's what happened with him. He was a truck driver too, and he started this game trailer thing, and his family, he explains it because he's an immigrant. And, that's stupid. Why are you going to quit your job? And he just explains, like, everybody fell back from him and all of that. And this guy, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if y'all seen where he is now with the situation compared to where I'm at, it looks like I'm doing, like, something amazing. Game truck, this and that. Like, so this guy doesn't even do the regular game trailer like me anymore. He's doing VR. When you walk in, it's all VR setups. And then on top of that, I think he's even gotten to the point where he's not even going out and doing the events anymore. He's literally building out the trailers and selling them. Because that's all I see now. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, I built mine. Why don't I think about building and he puts them in certain markets. He don't step on any toes. So he's like, okay, well, I already got like 1 or 2 in this area. But, if it's a big enough area, I will, build you one and send you one there. And I was thinking, because I kind of got the knowledge of how much it takes to build it and everything. And I was like, man, if I had the time, I know how much time it takes to build out one. But that guy has a great story, man. He literally came from another country with nothing, man. You know what I mean? And he said that his family thought he was just crazy. He just got tired of driving, man. Like, tired of dealing with, hey, go to New York from California and get back here. And I got, so he just jumped out there and did it. And, it's killing it, man. It's crazy. Like, this dude is dope. And, he does the raps and stuff like you do. So I'm like...
that's something that when you talk about the American dream, that the immigrants like take advantage of more so than we do. Like take advantage of it, like they capitalize on it. Where we take advantage of it, it's like, but we're gonna complain about this or complain. Like they're like, the world is ours. It's at our fingertips.
We got it made, don't we?
We can do anything, and they come here in every opportunity they want. We can cry and complain about politics and the racial issues going on and all the other BS in this country. But seriously, we are freaking blessed to live in this country, to have all the opportunities.
Blessed to wake up.
No other country do we have the opportunities to run businesses, to have our own opinions on a podcast like we do. It's crazy.
I see that. That's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen, but I'm one of my things on my vision board is I use social media for my business, to game business, right? I've always used that. I said, I'm going to use it to my advantage to bring in income, because it's like basically free advertising. But at the same time, what you just talked about is so much complaining and negativity on there. I try not to spend that much time anymore. Like, you can go through my page and I might post maybe once or twice. And I've been trying to post like more positive messages because I can't get sucked into the negative things. So what I've been trying to do is I just try to find something like I need to go do something. Like me sitting around, that means I'm going to be on social media scrolling and soaking in the wrong information. So now I try to spend more time on YouTube or Google or homing my skills on my operation. Like, man, what can I do to market better? You know what I mean? I need to watch some marketing videos. Or I added a page where it's like 1,800 party rental people. And we're on there, and a lot of this stuff, this new stuff y'all see me doing, I'm learning from them, but I'm not telling anybody that. I'm like, oh, that's what you're doing out there? Okay, I'm going to do this in this region then and see if it works for me. But that's my whole deal is, like you said, we live in America, man, and if you're wasting your time like you're born here, it's sad, man. Because life is going to pass you by, and you're going to be like, man, I had an opportunity to do basically anything. I walked out of my job. How many countries can you do that in? When you walk out, they might kill you if you walk out of somewhere. You know what I mean? Like it's that serious. But I can be like, hey, I'll come back and work here later on or somewhere else. I'm gonna go try this or that. Literally anybody can do that right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I want to go do a podcast for 6 months. I'm just gonna, if I got the money, I'll just pay my bills and go do that. You can do anything you want, but people just get so caught up in, like you said, all of the other stuff going on, and I'm like, that stuff is not going to get you to where you need to go.
No.
You know what I mean?
And something you'll run into is a lot of people on there will try to suck you into it when you're successful.
Yeah,
They'll try to suck you into that and get you to set. I'm going to throw one out there.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Donald Trump, like him or hate him, he got sucked into a lot of shit and got blamed for a lot of stuff because he was successful.
Yeah.
If he was just a guy, like, before he was president, everybody loved him. Nobody was trying to alienate him. As soon as he becomes president, he gets alienated.
You ever watch the roast of Donald Trump?
Yeah.
And you watch some of the people that are on there. Snoop Dogg's on there.
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane. Some of the people that are calling him. We're not trying to be pro Donald Trump on this episode or anything. We like to stay neutral on this podcast, on a political podcast. But some of the people that are saying some horrible stuff about him were making fun of him on that roast a few years before he
was. No, most of them followed him, but that's the thing of when you get to the pinnacle of where you're going to be.
Oh, yeah.
People are going to try to knock you down.
Man,
people from
your
community,
it's hard, man.
From your school.
Yeah.
People you thought that would support you, be the first ones to support you, or the first ones to try to
chop you down,
throw shade on you.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Yeah. It's sometimes you. It's kind of like when you get to that point, and you kind of like, man, I wish I wouldn't even went this direction. Like, I always said it, even when I was doing music, I always said I don't want the fame or notoriety. I just, the money for my family and my kids, that's enough for me. I don't need to. So kind of like, that's why I'm kind of like trying to scale back, but it's hard, because I use, social media for, the operation that I'm running. And so that's why you'll see me I'll post a bunch of advertising stuff. So I'm like, oh, you know what? If somebody don't want to see that, cool with me, just delete me. Or whatever, but this is what I'm gonna use it for. I mean, me arguing with somebody, or like you said, if it's something with politics, I need to stay out of that, man, because of that stuff can bring, you might have somebody that's using your services or whatever, and that can bring a bad taste to that person. Like, hey, why are you involving me in stuff?
It's unfortunate that it's like that.
Yeah.
Because personally, I really have no idea what your political affiliation is. I don't really get into it too much. I fall more middle of the road than I do anyway, but it doesn't matter if you voted for somebody and it doesn't make any difference. We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to use your services. You come on with us. You've bought decals for me. We're still going to do business. We're still going to be friends. Hey, if you want to vote for somebody, you like policies, everybody has that, right? But to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to do business with you because that's sad. That's what our cancel culture is now, right?
Yeah, you see it. So you gotta tread lightly.
Yeah.
And you want to support people. You're like, I like to support him because he's, supports this charity or do this. And if you want to, if your morals fall in politics, great, more power to you. If you want to follow them because they are pro-life or whatever, great. I'm not going to judge you. That's where your morals are. I follow politics a lot. I don't talk about it on social media. I don't talk about it on the podcast. But I follow a lot because I think you should stay informed. It's not like sports where I'm just not a sports guy. I am, but people say I'm just not a politics person. It's like, well, you should stay informed because it really affects you a whole lot. But but people will do that, and my brother-in-law had been working out a lot, you know, kind of keeping each other going to the gym, and then one of his cousins came with us, and then another one was going to come, and he worked out with us one time, but his wife said, you know, told him he couldn't go anymore because, she didn't want him to go. He respected her wishes because that particular gym, somewhere location, I don't even know how true it is, but there was an altercation where they don't care what gender you are. You can go into any bathroom or whatever. It probably makes it sound more negligent than it was, but somebody got beaten up.
Oh, wow.
A guy beat up somebody. I don't even know. I couldn't even find the story. I kind of tried to look for it. Like, okay, that's fine. No big deal. We're not going to make fun of you or anything. But people like that, like, well, that's a slippery slope. If you want to do that, that's fine. If that's where you are strong-willed at, well, then you got to watch what food you buy, what TV shows you watch. You know,
right about that.
Because you know, just because I probably use a lot of products that are made in China, and I know there's a lot of human rights issues in China.
Oh yeah.
I get it. I'm just going to shop where I'm going to shop, eat the food I want to eat, and you know, and watch the shows I want to watch. Because if I start digging into the politics of some of the really good actors, I'll probably figure out they're nuts, and it's going to ruin TV for me.
There's a lot of Nike.
It's a slippery
Nike
slope.
gets bashed for all of their political stances they take. Dude, I don't care. I'm freaking rocking Nikes because they're bad. They're good. It's a good quality product, right? Like,
but if you start wearing Nikes for that,
I don't care what their
Adidas
political
probably
stuff
has
is like.
Sweatshops
The Colin
somewhere.
Kaepernick, that commercial, that was one of the dopest commercials. Like, if you really watch that, and you don't like, too many people watch that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Too many people watch it and they're like, well, it's Colin Kaepernick, and instantly they had a thought in their mind.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, listen to the message. It is there. Like, that's one of the deepest messages I've ever seen. That to me, that's one of the top commercials. Not just Nike. That's one of the top commercials.
Yeah, they want to tie Colin Kaepernick to the message and be like, "Oh yeah, you struggled. You didn't struggle. You grew up with money and you made millions of dollars. But you throw. What if it was Michael Jordan there? Nobody would think twice about Michael Jordan struggled or anything like that. They just they use Michael Jordan as the face of that.
Exactly.
And it's just a commercial.
Only because of political stuff that was going on.
Because it was Colin Kaepernick.
But this is why we have y'all are blessings podcast, because now we can come, and talk about, y'all don't, but you have people that talk about these issues, and then somebody, in their meantime, they can sit and listen. They might not want to listen to it on the commercial. Maybe they want to go in their big truck or, go out back where they're barbecuing and listen to, something like that and have a better understanding of everything. Yeah. Because a 30-minute commercial, a 30-second commercial, that's not going to, you know what I mean?
In our podcast, we'll talk about the marketing part of it. We're like, well, this is but, we don't like to be political, but we pissed off half the people when we talked about Donald Trump. Yeah. And then we flip-flopped and pissed the other half off. Talk about
Colin Kaepernick.
We're going to keep y'all guessing. I want to keep going until our haters call us liberals and racist. And I just...
Hey, the more haters you got, it seems like the more success you have.
That's what we keep saying, man. But nobody will hate on us.
Yeah, I know. I said we need to talk about more.
We can't get
maybe I need to come out.
We can't get a YouTube troll for anything.
Hey, you hear me? Well, maybe I need to broaden it out a little bit and see what it does.
Yeah. We need to that's what we were talking about before the show. Before you got
too many gimmicks, but
we may need to have some more controversy on the show.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It sells, right? Controversy sells.
So talk about Logan Paul and Jake Paul. I can't stand them. But you're on the opposite side of that. You probably want him to be.
I like it.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. The guys. My daughter used to love this guy before all of this stuff, right? I never knew what this guy was.
He was on the Disney Channel.
He used to do like some music videos or something.
Yeah, and he was on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I used to think this goofy dude, like whatever, and now his whole persona has flipped to, this boxing thing. But
do you honestly
think
his
whole group follows him?
Yeah. Do you honestly think
over to that
he can box?
Yeah.
I really think he can. Yeah. I really think he can. Honestly, I think he's got a shot against Mayweather.
Yeah, he knows if he land a good one, he does.
Yeah.
Because you see how he was knocking out the Gronkowski brothers. Have you seen it?
Dude,
he knocked all four of them out.
Boxing is different.
Both those Paul brothers, they are big built. But they don't look like it. You see them though, compared to they're big built.
But you know what it is it's a joke to everybody on this side.
Yeah.
But these guys are literally in there.
That's all they do.
And the hate is feeding, is fueling their. So they in there focus in the gym. We don't see them sparring and working out. Like these guys are really in there putting in work.
They're
and
training every day.
And then these other guys like, oh, I want to fight you. Oh man, you probably think he's a joke. This guy's literally training. You're gonna come straight off the couch and get knocked out like, what, 3 or 4 guys already?
Who was the? God dang it,
Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson. God dang, dude. He talks so much shit, dude. And I really thought it would have been a better match because I hadn't seen him fight, like any of them fight, right?
Dude,
he flat out knocked his ass out, dude. Just cold,
dude,
knocked him out cold.
I'm not gonna lie.
there are haters that want to say that okay, they're ruining boxing. It's a joke, but I'm gonna say boxing's been a joke.
It's been a joke for a while,
the last 10 years.
The cherry picking and I'm
Logan
undefeated.
And Jake Paul, they couldn't do
you don't want to fight each other.
But you couldn't do this when Mike Tyson was in his prime. If Mike Tyson was in his prime, or any boxers back then, it would have been a different story. But now, I think if you're athletic and you have money like they do, and they can get up to that without doing 30 boxing matches and kind of earning their skin there, because they have this pedestal to jump on them. I mean, I think you can train hard enough to get up there now, because Mike Tyson even said that back in his day, they were all killers. That's what now boxers are just businessmen.
That's what I was about to say. It's all a business now. It's like you got guys that's like the UFC. I like Dana. He's gonna make you fight.
Yeah, the Pacquiao and Mayweather. By the time they fought, they were all
the boxers.
They should have fought
these guys
5 years before that.
So big.
Nobody wanted to fight
that. I got my own management team. I call my own shots. I don't like McGregor's gotten so big that hey man, I don't. Dana White, I'll go fight over here. I don't need you to. You can't control me like that anymore. So Dana kind of knows what he's doing. I'm gonna pay you this little money. You're not big enough to have your own management team like Mayweather Productions or Oscar De La Hoya. What was that, Golden Boy? Yeah. That can say, hey, no,
we're gonna negotiate.
We're gonna.
But he's the one now. Dana makes all the money to help put these guys on pedestal that they can't do on their own. I mean, that's good business. Really. I mean, like him or hate him, I think he's an arrogant fuck. But dude, he's smart as shit in business, man. He's got it figured out. Hey, I'm gonna let these guys beat the shit out of each other. I'm gonna keep stashing money in my pockets.
Hey, everybody's catching on, but you know what I like about Logan Paul is a lot of people like they're mad at him, but what he's doing is he's bringing light. To you guys over killing each other for $300,000, like the guy that snapped his leg in half. The guy that beat Anderson Silva. I forgot his name. Wildman. Wildman. So he broke his leg, and I'm like, gosh, man. I mean, he got $400,000, but I'm like,
not all these fighters are making $10 million a fight like Mayweather was. Like that McGregor Mayweather fight.
I mean, these guys are making like
I think he made more than that, maybe 50.
It was like crazy numbers, dude.
But like the Paul brothers, dude, how can you blame them for going and chasing that money? Dude, people are gonna pay the pay-per-view to watch you.
I don't dislike them for doing it. I just dislike that they were winning, because I watched them on the YouTube page. I think they're douchebags, but
I mean,
you give money to some people. That's what they turn into.
I look at it from a business point, like.
No, they're doing
man,
great
I wish I could kind of like I'll go in there and fight you for, you know what I mean?
I'll take $100,000 to fight Mayweather. It's not gonna last very long.
Me out? Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Just let me see if I get one shot.
You got guys like Chad Ochocinco and all of these guys seeing business opportunities. Like, hey, I'll go fight for 20 minutes for $500,000. Why not?
I'm not gonna last 20 minutes in the ring.
But I mean, I guess when we're clocking in that Walmart DC and throwing cases and my back is hurting and you see a guy, so some people got that thing in their brain like, oh, I hate these people, man, and I'm like, I don't. I'm like, I need to like figure out something.
What do I got to do to get there?
Yeah, what do I got to get?
It's kind of that Grant Cardone thinking.
Oh yeah, man, dude,
I love that guy. I really, man, I've been following him deep lately. I really like what he's got to say.
I love that guy.
People aren't going to see all that though. They're going to see, they see Trevor Lawrence. He's blessed to be what he is, which he is. I mean, nobody can have that talent, but nobody saw how hard he worked all the way
and everything.
through high school and college and practice. They just see Clemson go blow somebody out 60-0.
I mean, the guy never lost a game. Did it say since high school?
Yeah, except
not through high school
championship. Is that what you said?
I think that was
the playoff and one national championship and one playoff, but he's never lost a regular season game through high school or college.
Oh my God.
Well, you know, that was Zeke too when he came in the league.
Oh yeah.
He hadn't lost a game, and he didn't lose any games. They won every game. They never lost a game when he was in high school or college.
Dude.
Yeah, and that's what I thought was going to happen. And they go 13-3 as rookie.
And then if you fail, that's what they say. They yell out your failures, but they whisper your success. Mm-hmm. Because the minute you decline, you're hated. You see, that's kind of like that's the sad part about it, man. It's
somebody's going to tell. I mean, not you specifically, but we talked about it before. You post on Facebook, "Hey, I got a new job. You're going to get 100 likes." Mm-hmm. You say, "I started a company." You're not going to get as many. Because people are like, "Oh, he started a company. Okay, we'll see what happens. Give him 6 months." But if somebody's saying you're going to fail, and you maybe go out of business or decide to shut your doors 5-10 years from now, he's going to say, "Well, see, I told you were going to fail." It's like, you didn't worry about the 5 to 10. You were quiet. It's like when you're talking about, well, I'm a Cowboys fan, so Cowboys haters, they don't say anything when they win, but once they lose, they're all coming out.
Oh, yeah, they're coming out,
Or haters of any team, but that's what it's like. And they don't see all your sacrifices. They may see, well, Anthony got the right idea at the right time. Look, he has a successful company, but they don't know that you fail. You call it failed mistake, whatever you want to call it, in your first venture, and you started off yours with a gaming trailer and then slides, and then you have all this other stuff that you didn't just start day one like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I think we talked about that in episode 30. Like, you don't just start that just because they see you that way, posting all these slides, all this different stuff on social media.
They don't see they don't see the backside, and I tell. That's one of the things that I think, when y'all go forward is, maybe I want to touch on is we look at the glam and the glory of we own a business, but the backside that no one sees.
Mm-hmm. I did mention I had a quote that I said a few weeks ago, and I don't know if I have to paraphrase it, but it was something along the lines that people see your successes, but they don't see what is that? What they see in your success, they don't see in your failures, or it's something about like all the sacrifices you put in, and all that, like you're talking about, like, people see, oh yeah, look at what you've done. Yeah, they don't see the hard work. They don't see all the hours you spent building a game trailer. Yeah. They don't see all the hours I spend designing stuff and putting stuff together, and
the phone calls and
all that, and all the time that maybe you quote out all this these jobs, and you don't even get the work.
Oh yeah.
They don't see all that.
They don't see that. Just like, I hated to. Y'all booked the slide with me, but that weekend, I watched the weather all the way up until, because if I'm gonna have to step in and not do the event, I'm gonna wait. I know it looks kind of bad, but I'm gonna wait until up real close. I'm gonna give you a warning, and I'm gonna have to tell you, hey, this, this could happen because of safety reasons, and I hate to do that. You have to. You know what I mean?
And I could tell the way you were sounding on your texts.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't imagine some people you're texting right now who have 30 kids waiting.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, because
but you put that up, but if you bring that out and I let my kids go on it and the wind blows it over and one of them falls, I'm not going to think, damn it, Anthony, why didn't you stop me? I'm going to say, I should have taken them off. But not everyone's going to be like that. They're going to have a kid break their arm, they have a $5,000 doctor bill, and they're going to be like, well, maybe we can go back and...
your slide blew over. Why can't it,
like that, and I think about that because a lot of people don't. They don't look at that part. We haven't
talked about that, and you know what? I'd like to touch on that is when Ashton texted me and told me that you told him. I was like, man, you know what? I have so much respect for that, because running a business, I know, and from running businesses, that's one of the hardest things you can tell. Knowing you're gonna slightly disappoint a customer, that's one of the hardest things you can do. But it's respectful when you can say, look, I'm taking your safety, because you easily could have said, nah. Take your chances. I'm taking that money. Let's go.
Let's go.
Like, so how many people would have done that? Business, they would have just, I'll take my money. We'll take our chances. We'll see what happens.
And you risk losing money there. I think it was 2 days before. It could be easy for like, man, I don't want to lose this sale. Let's just see what happens the morning of. But then you're really making people mad. But you told us, and we didn't have a big party going on or whatever. But that was enough time to talk to Tony. Like, let's just get a little water slide, a slip and slide, and we can do that. You gave me plenty. You give people plenty of time to make that decision, and that's a risk too, because on our end we said, just keep it scheduled. We'll do it a couple months from
now.
Oh,
yeah.
But I'm sure a lot of people are just like, just refund my money.
This
is shot. We had a party, but his birthday is going to do something else, so, you know, you just you lose that sale. And that can be hard, too.
Oh, yeah.
To just risk
it. I was like, man, I was stressed out. Like that. I think that was, you know, maybe the next week is when I walked away from the job, because that was just recently, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that was the same week. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I'm like stressed. You know, I was like stressed because I was like.
That's interesting. You were stressed at your business.
Yeah.
And normally you'd be like, okay, I'm just not going to work on that a while. But she said, no, I'm going to put more time into it.
Yeah. So, you know, that's the things that people don't see that, and they see the, oh man, you know, he had a couple slots with it. Oh, he's doing the game truck, and I mean, they don't see the other side that comes with it. Like, man, I just scrambled all morning to make everybody happy. You know what I mean? And you kind of like sacrifice your own. I'm pretty sure, you know, you've been through it with your doing your banners and everything. Like, man, you know, I've spent like 6 hours and I made some money, but you know, you probably had a deadline thinking you weren't going to make it. Like, you know, pumping them out, and then you make it, and it's like, gosh, how many more times are you going to feel that?
Yeah.
You know?
How much longer can you endure that?
Yeah, endure that.
And what were the sacrifices to make that? You know, did you have to miss a kid's event
to
make that happen, or did you have to miss dinner with your family? Or, you know, what things do you sacrifice in that? And that is what people don't see. Yeah. I mean, you do a pretty good job of posting. You know, you guys cleaning the slides, cleaning the game trailer, but not everybody sees that sacrifice. That you spend that time. You probably spend more time cleaning them than you even do with those units. You take them, you set them up, it's done. Then you're away, but you spend a lot of time cleaning and you know, maintaining them that nobody takes into account.
Yeah, they don't see that part. Yeah, it's, you know, it's rewarding, but like, I mean, sometimes, man, I think, like, I wake up, like, you know, I woke up a couple times this year. It was like, man, I've thought about selling. Like, maybe it'd be easier for me to, you know, that, you know, I want to talk about that, you know, today, because I don't talk about that with anybody, because I don't want them to say, oh, man, oh, you're a quitter, or, you know, well, it looks like on here you're doing really, really good, but, you know, people get, you know, these epiphanies in their brain, like, oh, maybe you're lying, or, you know, maybe your business ain't as successful as it, you know, all of this stuff goes through your mind, but that's just what comes with it. I don't care who you are. You can, you know, even these big music stars or, you know, TV actors, they go through that too when their career starts to decline. Like, dang, man, I'm losing it a little bit. You know, like LeBron James. Yeah. We seeing it happen. Like, man, I think we're seeing the decline of
in front of our eyes.
In front of our eyes, you know, like, dude, you can't stay on the court more than 2 games right now. Yeah. You know, and I know it's. I mean, when Kobe, it was hard for him to walk away. Yeah. I couldn't imagine that, you know, and like, this time it's like it's like a little bit harder to walk away, because the first time I kind of like just woke up, kind of like when I walked away from the job, I was like, you know what, I'm done. Yeah. And you know, and sold everything. But these last couple times when I had that feeling, I was like, no, I ain't gonna do that, man. You know, I'm too deep in, and I just know that this is the end. Like, if I don't make this work, I think I'm done. Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe
but you're gonna make it where you can't do it anymore. Like, whether it's a financial thing, it's not because you decided. It's if this isn't gonna work out, it's because I can't control it. Whether it's, you know, I mean, you made it through COVID. How worse can it get for an entertainment company to seriously shut downs and no events?
That's crazy. Yeah, we all made it through it. I mean, you know, but I have y'all gotten anybody on here that? Have you ever interviewed anybody that just like closed down or anything? You ever thought about doing that?
We haven't come across.
I think that'd be pretty cool to get the story. Like,
it would though. I mean, to get another perspective.
But like you said, you were talking about, it's hard to find those because you're not going to find. You're saying, man, it looks fake if you close down, but nobody's posting the negative. Nobody's posting the failures. And if you see people posting a lot of stuff like that, they're looking for attention. They're on their, you know, third marriage. They're posting all their issues and they're looking for attention. Yeah. But then everybody else is just posting vacation pictures and like, man, it must be nice to have those. And you know, if that's something I'm not saying we wouldn't come up with it because that's a great idea. Yeah. But nobody's just posting, hey, it's closing up shop. It didn't work out. They just kind of quietly go away. And you just don't know anything about it. You'll just go to their Facebook page and they haven't updated it in months. Which is another side note. You know, if there are businesses you like to support, restaurants, things like that, don't assume that they're not going through troubled times just because they're not talking about it. Yeah,
you're
Facebook.
Right about that. Yeah.
You say, man, if I'd have known, I would have used them more or whatever. You know, support them now.
Oh yeah.
Another side note there, because people don't post that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
As I say, it's catch-22 because we talk about they don't see all the sacrifices. Well, you're not posting things on Facebook like, I haven't, got to put my kid to bed for 3 straight nights because or something like that.
Like that, yeah.
It's just like that iceberg meme. They see this part, the success, everything's going well. But they had the sleepless nights down here underwater. The part of the iceberg you don't see.
And it's a lot bigger on the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, it's even how we've had several episodes. The quality of the podcast wasn't good. We could easily just say, "No, we're not putting that out there, right? We're not going to let people see a weakness in us at all."
Yeah.
We're just going to put it out there, and it's going to be good or bad. We're putting everything out there. I mean, we had people call us like, "Hey, the sound level's really low," or it's like, "Yeah, we'll work on it. We appreciate it."
Yeah.
So we're not
because that's going to help you.
Yeah, and we feel like we've been able to up that quality. But I know exactly what you're talking about with the kind of that mental side of the business.
Yeah.
And that was really where I shut down before my company was the mental side. It wasn't because it wasn't business. It was business, and we talked about it, was the business would be up and I would have all this work to do and then I would finish it and I'd have all the money and I'm like, yeah, I'm great. But then I didn't know how to delegate to bring in more people so it was just me, and then it was back down. Okay, well, I got to make this money last because now I got to go out and sell. And then I sell. Okay, well, I can't sell anymore. Now I got to go produce. And it's all up. But then, oh, nope, I haven't been selling now. It was an up and down constantly.
Up and down,
And that's mentally where I just got to where I couldn't take it anymore. Like, to me, it was just too much stress because I would get, and I might have to make that money I made, last week, 2 or 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was out trying to sell work and I wasn't getting it all. And that's where it was at, was because that mental side.
Yeah, the mental side. Yeah, that's really the deal. The mental. That's what got me with the walking away from the job. I mean, it got making great money. You know what I mean? Made $90,000 with that company holding the steering wheel. You know what I mean? But the mental side of me worrying about customers, and then I'm having to worry about the management changes and the things they're doing at corporate. And it just. Eventually it's gonna get you. I don't care who you are. If you're going day for day like that, not taking breaks. That's kind of why I take the vacation breaks. I use vacations as therapy. I tell people, instead of taking a pill, you need to get away from. You need to get as far away as you can from normal for a while. Rather be with friends, family, or whatever. Do it for about a week, and then it gives you a natural reset. Instead of taking some medication that gives you a reset for 6 hours, and then you got to do another one, and then another one, and I'm like, I mean, it's like temporary, So my deal is with me stepping away from the company, it's going to help my mental state, and I kind of had that in my notes, today, like to talk about that, because nobody sees that, and that's why you have people like you probably see somebody like spaz or flip out. It probably has something to do with either a relationship or a job. I think those are the 2 biggest things that affect people mentally, like, whether it's friendships or, something with your spouse or kids, and then your job. And then if you're working all the time, you have no time to work on your mental state. So you kind of got to have that happy medium or balance. Like, you want to go out here and hammer it out, but I'm like, hey, man, that's going to catch up to you eventually if you just, always... Elon, I don't know, it's this guy like superhuman or something, but he's like, what he says is he just, it's all day, like I'm grinding, boom. And I seen a story where they said this guy, like, he'll fall asleep at work and wake up and be like right back to it. And I'm like, man, I don't know if he has like Mamba mentality like Kobe or
what was, and actually just came out when he was on Saturday Night Live, he's
Asperger's.
Has Asperger's.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had mentioned on when he was hosting Saturday Night Live last week or week before, that he was the first person to host Saturday Night Live that has Asperger's.
Wow.
He's a different guy, man.
Yeah, he's a different.
Right. He's not.
And you see him; he's more laid back in interviews.
Yeah.
But he was never famous before he was rich.
Oh yeah.
So now, I mean, money doesn't solve all problems, but there are aspects where, okay, of course he can fail. He may lose millions of dollars, but he's got money. He's not going to go bankrupt.
Bankrupt, yeah.
But that's just what we're seeing now. Before he was famous, we didn't see all of his business ventures, whether he failed, maybe he did go bankrupt sometimes, and he just kept going. Now he's probably more laid back. He has more wisdom about it. He's got money. But, you're talking about being a driver. If I know from being a driver and moving into sales that whatever, the weather, a guy didn't show up for work, the load doesn't get there, it's not really your problem.
Yeah.
It's the broker's problem or the salesman's problem or the dispatcher's problem. If you deliver a load and something's missing or something's wrong, let me call my dispatcher. It's not my problem.
Or the salesman.
Yeah, the salesman. They're going to call them. They're not going to bother. I mean, they may bother you with it. But, I mean, everybody has a boss to report to and there's stresses to go along with it. But when you're driving their truck, your only worry is what's on that truck.
Yeah.
Like, you don't care. But when you work in sales or have your own business, your phone's ringing all times of the day. You answer your phone. I've talked to guys when I moved outside of sales. I'll talk to yard pullers and drivers. And it's like, oh yeah, you roll in at 9 o'clock. I'm like, well, you don't see the 5 stops I make before that. I woke up at 5 this morning. And then I'm leaving early to go other job sites or whatever. They think I come in the office for 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, dude, the phone rings at 9 o'clock at night. I got to answer it. Like, oh, I wouldn't answer it. Like, well, that's probably where you're at.
Yeah.
Not to diminish any position, they're hard workers, but that's the difference. When people say, "Oh, I'm not going to work for such little pay," or work for free. It's like, well, sometimes you have to work for more. What's the saying? Work for more than. I don't want to butcher it, but basically, you got to work and not get paid for it to eventually get paid what you're worth. I'll get this. I've said
it's like putting in the sacrifices.
Yeah, I'm learning that too.
You got to get it.
Well, what is the? No, there's one I actually saw this week, and I've heard it several times, but that just reminded me. It was like, if you want to pay me to come do a 30-minute job, but I spent 30 years learning how to do that job in 30 minutes. 30 years. So pay me for 30 years experience, not the 30 minutes it took me to do the job.
I've seen that.
And that's how I feel sometimes with my business, with the design and graphics and banners and stuff, is that people are going to shop your prices, right? They're going to go and compare, and you have to stay somewhat comparable. But when it comes to the design side, people want, well, how much is it for an hour? How much is it? No, this is the product I'm going to give you. This is how much it costs. If I'm doing a big time logo design, big corporate logo design, it might be a $20,000 design. And it might take me 2 hours to design it. It might take me 4 months to design it. But no matter what, this is it, right? It's my knowledge base and my experience that you're paying for, not how much time did I spend on it. And that sometimes gets overlooked, and a lot of trades get overlooked that way too, is you want to pay everything by the hour, but how much experience these guys have.
I mean, how much time did that guy put in, like you said, and to go learn this stuff? That he wasn't getting paid. He actually probably still paying for the knowledge. You know what I mean? Because we know college is ridiculous. The education that you got to get to learn some of this stuff. So
it's absolutely insane.
Just like you said, like, hey man, I'm still paying for this knowledge that it took me 8 years to obtain. So then you got to pass it on to the customer. Like you said, this is what I always tell myself. Even though we might own our own, operations, we still work for somebody. At the end of the day, even Elon, like Tesla and all of the other ventures you have, you still working for the people that's buying your product. At the end of the day, so you're never done working for anybody. It's just the responsibility grows, And
because if you want to be successful, you're going to have to abide by what your customers want. Because you can be the hard ass and say, no, this is my policy. This is what I. Okay, you're just not. You're going to lose customers. So at a certain point, there is some give and take. And
that's funny. I don't see as many people up high successful really saying that. It's the people down here. Like I said, well, I wouldn't answer my phone at 9 o'clock. I wouldn't do that. They like to criticize management, and sometimes they're incompetent people in those higher up positions. But I like to give people higher up than me the benefit of the doubt because they have a different perspective. They're like, well, we can't just say go fuck off because we're going to lose a customer, and then we're going to have to fire people. We have to especially in sales, you have to sweet talk people when you want to go tell them to go themselves. And it's those people down here that don't want to do that. And if you watch a lot of motivational people, They talk about how you become a millionaire. It's not inheritance or winning the lottery. Most of it's investing, but it's sacrifice. It's not overly difficult to be a millionaire when you break it down, but nobody wants to do that. Yeah. Nobody wants to sacrifice that money. Not get Starbucks every day and put that money and risk it and invest it. It's like, okay, that's fine. You could do it, but if you don't want to do it, that's fine. But that's what it is like with being an entrepreneur. Like it's not glorious. You have to do all that extra stuff. Yep. And people want to be an entrepreneur. It's cool. People want to post on Facebook and say I'm my own boss, or make Instagram videos saying I retired at 26 or whatever. That's crazy, but nobody wants to do the hard work that it takes to do it.
They do it.
You don't get to sleep 8 hours.
Yeah, you don't, man. You might be up worried all night, like, man, like I gotta get this done, because like what I deal with, you really can't miss this stuff. Like how I did, that's what stresses me out, because this is memories when you're doing these birthday parties and stuff. Like, so you don't always get the second chance to do a birthday party or something. Like if the weather, is really bad, that people, tend to understand. But that's why unless the weather's bad, I'm not gonna miss. Even if it's raining a little bit, I'll come. But the wind situation, I got to be real strict on that. I mean, you'll probably, if you look on YouTube, these things are literally take off on you. And then now I'm on Fox 4, Channel 11, Channel 8.
Well, my wife, my
wife trying to make a buck.
And all my competitors like, yep, I told you.
Look at that. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, my wife's cousin hired somebody to have a bounce house. And they were late. They showed up as the party was ending.
Oh, wow.
And so there were kids crying. Like, they want to get on the... Like, he said, like, they already paid for it. So he's setting it up. And I guess his 2 daughters just got to jump in it and play it by themselves. But those parents are going to remember that. They're going to see whatever logo that is. And like, Hawks Event Rentals. Or, I'm not getting that.
I'm not doing
and it may have been legit. Maybe he had a flat tire. Maybe somebody called in sick. You can't control everything.
Yeah, you're right.
But that's all they remember.
That's all they remember.
I'm not going to
have one bad experience. And it's scary, man.
Have you had bad experiences with?
Man, not that many. Maybe in it's been 3.5 years. I really haven't had like a real bad experience, because I try to stay on top of it as fast as I possibly can, and it's always going to be
important. Like with a couple weeks ago, you were early to it of saying, hey, here it is. And I think you even posted on Facebook. Oh, yeah. You said, hey, here's what it is. I'll refund everybody 100%. Sorry, but I think that's what it is mitigating the damages as soon as possible. And make sure, whatever you can do to make it, make it up to them. And I think
you got to,
that goes a long ways.
It does go a long way, because he's like, calling you 2 hours before the event said, I'm not gonna come out. I don't care what it is. Even if it's a flat tire or something, you're still gonna be like, well, that's kind of a rare thing. It happens, but it's like gonna be a rarity that all of a sudden you had a flat tire, for an hour before. That. Yeah.
And I'm sure you called them thinking, hey, it says 100% chance of rain.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna let y'all know now. Then you get that the day of and it doesn't rain.
Yeah. Like, oh man, that has happened before. Or the rain comes like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but I know it's going to come because I'm watching the weather. I have to keep up. For 8 years, I've kept up with the weather. I tell everybody, they'll tell me, my phone says this. I'm like, when I detailed, I'd have to keep up with it. And now I'm in party rental. Like, the weather controls me. And your event, and it controls me. I can't do nothing about it. So I tell them, I'm like, hey, the storms are like in Odessa. Well, I know what your phone's saying, but and then it'll come. And then they'll say, oh, okay, yeah. Because, I'm like, yeah, it's going to come. And yes, you can use these things in the rain, but, there are problems that happen when you do that. When you deflate it and it rains on it, the water literally gets inside of the unit, and nobody doesn't know that stuff. Yeah. And then, I can get mildew in the inside, or it becomes like from a, 400-pound unit to a 800-pound unit. And now I'm tearing up your yard, getting it out of there. Yeah. And so it's just like a lot of stress with it. Yeah.
With that, let me take it back. I've been looking at, like, with my business of finding ways. So I started an Etsy page.
Oh yeah.
To sell designs. Like I put package designs together to sell to people that have crickets and people doing all their own little stuff. So I can broaden my customer base, but also it's something I have these designs loaded, that can be purchased, and then I don't have to spend any of the time doing it. They buy it and automatically sends them the phone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, have you thought about things like, because weather is such an impactful thing for you, have you thought about things to add in when weather is bad, or in kind of your off-season time to add into what you offer for your
the game trailer was one of the things, because in the wintertime it's freezing. Couldn't, I would literally shut down for 5 months, maybe 4.5. So that's one of the main reasons I built it, because I can do that 365 days a year, even if it's raining. Boom, we can do the game truck. So I kind of want to give people that option, like, hey, if it does rain, maybe I can sub you out with a game trailer, but maybe they don't want that. You see what I mean? So the only other way is to have a the units inside of a building, but you can't really use water, because I'm mainly a water slide guy. So it's kind of hard, in the party rental deal. It's kind of like you pray for the sunshine or whatever.
Maybe you need some like portable carnival type games.
Oh yeah.
Set up, you know. Yeah. So speaking of that, I don't know how much you want to get into it. You had the property you looked at in Itasca.
Oh yeah, man.
You want to get into that at all?
Yeah, so that guy, man, I didn't put everything on Facebook, but it was like a blessing to open my mouth. Like sometimes you do gotta just pick the phone up. And this one guy always says that on this YouTube video, you're gonna go so much further if you learn how to pick this phone up and close the deal. Like just call the school, man, and tell them this is what you got. Yeah. Just none of these, man. I don't have any business in Crowley or Burleson. Like maybe very small. Nobody knows me there. Yeah. All of my business is here, Joshua, Cleburne, Alvarado and stuff. So, so that guy, I called him, and the property's just sitting there, just all messed up. So he was like, yeah, man, we'll talk about the rent or whatever. I was like, cool, we got to get the water on. I know the people at the city. And then he wrote me back. He was like, you know what, man? Hey, man, just go ahead and start when you want to. I might not even charge you. Just clean up the property. Just, keep it mowed and everything. I was like, what? So I'm kind of like, man, you're going to let me just do this over here for free? So now I'm kind of like, hey, I can work during the week. Yeah. I can
especially
set
during
up
the summer.
During the summer, and now I can set 5 or 6 slides up and charge them. Yeah. Because I like how you had it gated. So I was like, hey, I can.
So you can do it admission at the gate. That's what I thought when I saw that. Is that's what it kind of looks like. You could have that little gate.
Yeah. So I can
do like those
wristbands. So I can have the game truck going. The water starts going.
Inside
everything inside it. So you can't sneak in or nothing. Yeah. You have to come through the front. So that's why I got the idea, and I've been saying it for I seen it 4 months ago, because I would pass through there to buy me some breakfast burritos, and I said, hey man, I wonder who owns this, and it's got a big sign for rent, and I'm passing by, I'm like, man, nobody's trying to do anything with this, and I'm thinking, man, I got these slides, I can work 1 or 2 days, maybe make a $600-$700, charging $12 or
set up
unless you want to go pay $35,
all kinds of stuff.
You want to pay $35 to go to a Pirates Cove
concession there with your
the cotton candy
and the snow cone.
Yeah, my wife was like, yeah. So this goes back into me going to the wood place. So I'm like, do I really need to do that, or do I need to just
go all
because I've been having withdrawals, man. That's a stepping away sounds easy until you do it, and then you start man. Remember how you told me the up and down, man, I hope I can make it, with this amount of money I made, because the rain might have hit for 2 weeks. Yeah. Man, I got to make this stretch now, man. Now I can't do all of this stuff that I want to do. Now I can't just wake up and go eat all the time. My wife can. She has a full-time job, but I don't want her paying for everything like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now I'm kind of like, man, why am I doing this? You see, I'm kind of all over the place right now. Yeah. Because that's the deal. I can go there and work for 2 days, and then do all of my residential deliveries and stuff on the weekend. Yep. But this is a powerful thing.
Yeah, it is.
We gotta get that.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Good and bad, because sometimes your mind can talk you out of good ideas and can talk you out of things that you should just go do. Kind of like we've been talking about Elon a lot here. That's what he says, right? I think you might have said it earlier. That just go do it. If it fails, it fails, right?
Yeah, you're
because
right.
You're talking about
what's the worst thing if your company failed? You go get back in the truck and drive
in the truck and drive again.
Right? I mean, really, about sitting in the passenger seat and
talking all these things,
and you're all upset. You're like, man, it's just kind of. But now that you got back out, you probably feel 100 times better. Okay, let's say it fails. You go bankrupt or whatever. It can't go in. You're not going to go sit in a truck with it. I mean, you might be kind of bummed out about it, but you're not going to be saying, man, did I make the right decision? Like, you went all out.
Yeah.
It's better to regret something you did than you didn't do.
Because
you could be sitting in a truck right now just wondering, like, man, I could be sitting doing a podcast right now. About my business instead of driving a truck.
Driving a truck and just thinking about it. Because, man, that truck is it's a mental thing because 12 hours at night by yourself, nobody to talk to, everybody sleep. It's so much to think about, man. But I thought about a lot of good things, and then there's a lot of things that just drove me crazy, man.
You talk yourself out of a lot of stuff.
Out of a lot of stuff. Like, man, I don't know. And then, now I'm here, and I'm kind of like...
Listen to business and be on podcast for 12 hours.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
You're going to quit on business your first night.
Listening to business and beyond gonna have you say, hey, man, I don't want to work here no more. You know what I mean? Slamming doors, like... and then calling Tony like, hey, man...
That's a disclaimer. Listening to this podcast
may
make you want to quit your job.
You know what? That actually is pretty good.
That should be a shirt. You may want to quit your job.
You might want to quit your job, and then next thing you know, we're drinking
college.
The
big
entrepreneurs, Grant Cardone, we mentioned him earlier. Elon, all these guys will talk about. Gary Vaynerchuk, I think mentions it. Is you're either gonna go work for the man or you can go work for yourself. But everyone's bred and taught just to go get a job and work, right? That's the easy thing. That's why they don't teach entrepreneurship in school.
Yeah. Go work for 30 years.
Yeah. They're not going to teach you...
Get a good paying job, retire, and you're good.
How to go out and get business loans. They're not going to teach you how to manage your business, how to manage customers, how to manage inventories. They don't teach any of that in
None
school.
of that, man. Ain't that weird?
It is.
And it's going to push people away because...
They don't even teach finances in school.
Oh, man.
Like basic finances, they don't teach.
I think it's on purpose.
I really do.
Because the less educated you are, the easier you to control.
They're teaching you to be a worker, not an entrepreneur.
Not an entrepreneur.
Because people have a passion and want to start their business, and they're okay, how do I do this? Oh, you got to do this kind of insurance, and you got to figure out what kind of business you want to be. Then you got to do taxes, and then you're like, you know what? It's just easier
to go in and to be honest with you, I tell people, this is not for everybody.
No.
I'll tell them quickly, because all the things you just said, that's another thing y'all might want to touch on. That side, that people don't see that when you charging something, and I'm like, well, I have to pay somebody to even run this operation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the business I'm in, a lot of people don't know the insurance is extremely high.
Yeah,
it's the same as running the roller coaster.
With Rhino Sports, and they'll message me about something. The Well Academy has it for this price, like half the price. Like, well, Academy is different, set up completely different.
Academy orders 10 million of these a year. Like,
they don't see it. Like, well, it shouldn't cost that much for that. Like, I'm just telling you, I have to make my money for this. This is,
Man, it's terrible the way that, corporate, we give them a chance every time. Walmart can just treat you bad, or you can wait in line for an hour because they got one cashier, it's $1 billion company. But the minute we make one mistake, man, and then we get ate alive, and I'm like, why are we programmed to do that to each other? And most of the country is small business owners.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the culture is so messed up, man.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have people ordered something on Amazon, and your order comes fucked up, and you got to send it back? But you know what? I'm still ordering every day.
Order every day.
Free 2 days.
I do the same thing. Yeah. Like I do the same thing. Now I also support my friends' businesses. I support small businesses. If something's messed up, it's not a big deal. You know? If I feel like
to fix it.
Yeah. If I feel like I need to say something to somebody, I will.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's just a word of advice. I'm not mad. Just maybe you should do this next time. That's how I see it. But I would never get upset with people.
Yeah.
And start comparing them to these big businesses that just mess up all the time.
All the time, man.
But you're right. Why don't you?
And they don't really care if
you don't want to cancel them, but me, you're like, I'm never shopping with you.
Yeah, with you again. Like,
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Like everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah. But it's tough, man. I just hope if anybody listening to watch this episode, this is real good information we talked about today about we kind of talked about the backside, the kind of dark side, that the not so fun side. You know what I mean? And you know, I hope, you know, they listen like I listened, you know, to episode 30. Just take bits and pieces that's gonna help you and run with it. You know what I mean? And you know, that's all I got to say. You know, on the
episode
situation.
30 might be our most iconic episode ever.
I know it's mine because I'm living.
Can we
it.
go back and edit the audio?
We might be able to. We might be able to.
I don't know,
that
man. As long as this audio is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we try to say it a lot that we're going to tell you the bad stuff, the dark side like this, but we're not trying to scare you away from doing it. We're trying to say, instead of looking up that information and saying screw this, just reach out to somebody. Ask us. You can ask us. We can reach out to you. Yeah, reach out to Anthony, or we can reach out to one of our contacts. We know somebody who can do it. But that was enough for this episode. Thanks, Anthony, for coming in.
Thank y'all for having me again, man. And it was a pleasure.
We'll always keep the seat warm for you.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
I'm Ashton.
I'm Tony.
I'm Anthony.